Welcome to the Beyond Divorce Embracing Change podcast. My name is Michael Flores, and I will be your host while we explore the complex journey of divorce with empathy, insight, and practical knowledge. Whether you're contemplating separation, in a divorce, or looking for support post-divorce, our episodes provide expert guidance, stories, and strategies to help you through every step of the process. We are actual therapists, helping clients who sit on our couches every day through their difficulties of divorce. You are not alone. Join us as we delve in and find solutions that give you hope again. We're glad you're here.
This podcast is not intended to replace legal or personal help. This podcast is for informational purposes only.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to be talking about an invisible backpack. I think that's awesome. What a phenomenal title. And I think people are probably going to be wondering, what is that? What is the backpack? So Jinohn's actually here to talk about what the invisible backpack is that kids carry in divorce. And so, Jinohn, this is exciting. I'm ready to do this. Mm-hmm. So what would you like the listeners to know about this backpack?
Well, this backpack really is, it's not just carrying clothes. You know, your kids got to go back and forth between houses, right? So it's not just about carrying clothes or anything like that. It represents emotional, psychological, and the physical transition between two worlds, I will say. Because a lot of times, I mean, this mom and dad are, and I'll say parent one, parent two, are these kids' world. And so they have to transition back and forth. So imagine that, you know, you're packing a bag every few days and you're leaving one home to go to another. They have different rules, different routines, different traditions, different smells, different beds, you know, different bugs, I don't know, expectations, whatever it is. Now imagine you're doing that and you're only 6 years old. What do you understand other than I'm going somewhere else and it's very different? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what that invisible backpack is. It's like, what are they carrying as they're going back and forth? And it's transition. So you guys can kind of understand what your child's going through when they are transitioning.
So I watched a movie. It's an old movie recently. I'm not even going to name what the movie is, but it was one of those movies where you can travel back in time. You can go back in time and then come back to the present. But if something changes in the past, then it changes the present.
Those movies.
Yeah, like that. Like any movie that goes like Back to the Future or whatever. If you go in time, either forward or backward or whatever, but if something changes, it changes something in your present, right? Mm-hmm. So this idea is, talking about kids, the idea, if you notice in all the movies, it's the same person going into two different worlds, but the world itself is still functioning around it. So like, let's use Back to the Future, for example. So in Back to the Future, if he goes into the past to change something, it changes his current present. So if he goes into the past as himself, into the past, he's still the same person going into a different world. Mm-hmm. In that world, things are different. So if he has an influence in that world and changes something, when he comes back to the present, that present is now different, but he's still the same. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is kids live that in real time. They're going to two different worlds, two different homes, mm-hmm. as you said, different traditions, different expectations, just a whole different experience. One experience of dads, one experience of moms. And they are literally the same person going between those two places. Now, here's what's crazy. Parents will tell us that they have two different kids. One parent will be like, well, I never have that issue when he's at my house.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I bet you don't, because what is the child having to do to survive? To survive the stuff that's in their invisible backpack, what are they having to do in these two different homes?
Is that a rhetorical question?
No, I was actually asking you, but if you want to answer.
They have to. They have to change. They have to do something different. They have to adjust.
There it is. It's the adjusting. Have you had a parent say this to you, Jinohn, when they come in and they go, it takes them like a day to digress before they kind of become themselves?
They're super angry. They're super quiet. They're withdrawn, or there's something wrong at the other parent's house.
Because every time I pick them up,
they're different. Right.
And then you ask them, how long does it take for them to become the version?
A couple days. Right. A couple days.
And really what it is what? What is that really in most cases? What's happening?
Honestly, like if we're going to go with the backpack analogy, they're unpacking all the stuff from the other parent's house and
good or bad,
sifting through it, whatever it is, sifting through it probably, and trying to like decompress, I would say, and then get back to, okay, now this house is how I need to be in this way.
I think the invisible backpack actually is invisible because it exists in their mind and in their heart and in their feelings, right? In their place. We use the heart as feeling, but the invisible back is existing within them. It's not something that you'll ever externally see, but you can learn about the backpack, because we learn about it in therapy, because the kids will tell us about experiences or the ways that they've been done. And so they're actually showing it to us, but it doesn't mean we're interpreting it correctly, because sometimes parents can misinterpret what's in that backpack.
Oh, yeah. And most of the time, if we're in high conflict, we're going to interpret it as something wrong over there.
Oh, yeah. They pull out a brush and we call it a comb, and they go, no, it's a brush. And it's a comb.
Yeah.
Was it for your hair? Comb or brush? Is it for you? I get it. All right. So where do we go from here? What do you think would be important?
Well, just kind of understanding what kids carry in their backpack might
Let's do it.
Important. So they can carry emotions, worries, loyalty, conflicts, which is a big one. Routines, expectations, memories, relationships, all that stuff is what they can carry. And the thing is that they carry it and they have it all week. Let's just do week on, week off. That's going to be the easiest one. Look, week on, week with parent one, week with parent two. So for a whole week, I am being loyal to this parent. I have the worries of whatever, blah, 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 whatever it is that they're carrying. And then, they lug that backpack over to the other parent because they're going to carry it. I mean, think about us, you, me. We go home and we have to switch gears from work Michael, work Jinohn, to dad Michael, I'm not dad Jinohn, mom
Jinohn.
And you have to completely switch gears. You can't be in therapist mode at home. You're not supposed to be in therapist mode, Michael.
Who said I was?
I don't know. I know.
Yeah, you got confirmation.
But you can't be that.
Right.
You got to be a person. And so how hard is it for us to be able to switch that? And you want to think about a child that is not fully developed, don't have a fully developed brain, and they got to switch. And they got to switch their whole world, not just like one thing like we do.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
I think adults call it emotional baggage. You heard that term? But they're really talking about that invisible backpack with stuff that they carry. And see, and you, the parents, I think, I'm saying you because I know the parents, the listeners, you're carrying, you have an invisible backpack too that you carry.
They all do.
You take it with you to the exchanges.
Oh,
don't they? Yeah. Because what's fun about parents, and they don't tell me this, but I know it's happening. They'll go to these exchanges and they'll become the ex. They'll become the version of themselves that they don't like at the exchange because they're interacting with the person they don't want to see anymore.
Yeah.
Or, so I think that, we're talking about kids carrying emotional baggage. I think we need to talk about, or invisible backpacks. I think we need to talk about the parents doing the same thing, that they have their own. You also have an invisible backpack. We all do, I think, at some level. Like you just talked about me going home and not being a therapist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't.
I know. I assume that you don't.
Yeah. Do you?
No.
Okay.
Far from it.
Should I be asking your husband?
Far from it. I was like, is she a therapist?
Yeah. You send a message. I need to know this. Yeah. That's so funny. Okay. So sure. What other things do we need to realize about maybe even transitions that you think parents would benefit from knowing?
Well, I think that just understanding kind of why they're so hard for kids, which, it almost seems like a duh thing, but when you're kind of in the thick of high conflict, or I don't like the other person, or whatever else it is, whatever other assumptions that we have in our minds, in divorce or separation or anything like that, a lot of times we kind of forget that, like why it's so hard for kids and kind of what's going on with them. So, you can ask, or let's say, you can ask yourselves, like, or kids have to ask themselves, like, can I have a snack here? Or
they're asking of themselves if they can ask, can I have a snack? Okay, got it.
Or
that's what you're saying.
They have to question the switch, like at mom's house, I can have a snack whenever I want to, but when I go to dad's house, can I? And I'm talking about younger kids, because this is what I work with, younger kids. Older kids, they probably can switch fairly easily, right? Unless they have some issues with kind of like adjusting and all that.
Right.
But with younger kids, and I'm talking about kids like, I would say 10 and under, you know, they're having to remember, okay, what's my bedtime at dad's house? What's my bedtime at mom's house? Am I allowed to scream the top of my lungs at my mom's house? But, oh, nope, I can't do that at dad's house,
Well, kids are always asking what's going to happen or what will happen, or will they say yes? Will they say no? They're questioning themselves before I think they ask you the question of the parent, don't you think?
Yeah, well, because they thrive on predictability. They need that.
Because what is predictability for a child?
Security.
There it is. And what do kids, especially in a divorce, what are kids really craving? What do they want most? And what have you found they want most?
I mean, they want to feel secure, and they use safety. You know, people are like, I don't feel safe, but they really want to feel secure. They want to feel.
Well, they use that word safe, don't they?
They will always use that word safe, and
they mean secure. And so if you go tell your other parent, I don't feel safe at dad's, all of a sudden we got to go file a TRO.
That's a problem.
Instead of saying I don't feel secure there because I don't know if I can ask dad this.
There's not a lot of predictability. I don't know what to expect, and
then we figure that out, and we go back to him and go, yeah, it's just that there needs to have a conversation with the parent about something.
Or we just need to talk to both parents about being consistent between homes, you know?
That's true for almost every case, though.
Yeah.
Like, if I could say there's one thing that if parents really could do well, is going, how can we create as much consistency as possible for when our child goes back and forth? Because then what would happen? What difference would that make if parents...
I think that does. I think it does. It will help with the amount of time it takes for a kid to transition, right? To the
I agree.
They don't have to. They're not going to be asking. They're not going to be asking a lot of these questions because they're just going to know. At my mom's house and my dad's house, or at parent one's house and parent two's house, this is what happens.
So I have a question. Yeah, and I have a question for the listeners. I wonder, do you think your children really think that all these things are about them or about you?
100% about them, right?
The kids think it's about them?
They think it's about them.
Or do the kids think that this is really about their parents?
I think it depends on the age.
Let's talk about that, tell them.
Because if you're talking about older kids, they're probably going to be like, this is my parents' problem, right?
Teens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
that's my
critically
parents'
think,
stuff.
you think about, stages of development, all that stuff, brain development, all that. But kids like, I say 11,
but
10 or 11 and under.
I'd say 11 under, yeah.
They're very egocentric.
So they're thinking about themselves.
Everything is about me.
So if you're arguing and you're not getting along,
it's my fault. Let's say, okay, because a lot of times, when parents argue, when they're together or not together, it's about something about the kids, right? But they're not arguing really because this kid, got his shoe dirty. They're arguing because you don't ever listen to me. You don't take care of the kids the way I want you to, right? That's the argument.
Yeah, because I have an issue with the way you parent.
Right.
Instead of the fact that it's
but
about
if a 6-year-old's hearing that, they're just like, oh no, I got ketchup on my shoe.
And now my mom
and dad are fighting. Whose fault is it?
Jinohn, right there, we could stop it right there.
I know, right?
And be like, cool, if you needed anything out of this particular segment, that's what you needed. Right there, we could be like, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth tons right there. If parents come in and go, I don't know what to do, let's look at their age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about what they're looking at for themselves. At this age, from about 11 down, they're thinking that it's all them.
Yep.
If you have issues, that's because of them. Even if it's they got ketchup on their shoe and you're arguing with the dad because you think the dad is a horrible parent, or he's arguing with you because he's your horrible parent. The kid's not hearing that y'all think each other is horrible. They're thinking, bad me, now I created this for my mom.
I created this problem.
Now they get to about 12 or 13, they're like, I'm done with these guys. These knuckleheads are just... Can't figure it out,
and they can't figure it out. So
here we go again.
Buy or something. Well,
they do buy. I mean, we have what gatekeeper, distractor, avoider.
Mm-hmm.
There's your buy. That's your buy kid. That's the avoider.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you something. There's more parents out there right now that y'all think you'll have a good relationship with your teen kid, but your teen kid is actually planning to separate from you once they're adults.
Oh my!
And it's funny because I'm neutral, so they'll come in and talk to me about it and go, look, I would never tell my parents this. I love them. But man, I can't wait to get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait, you mean your mom? No, I mean my dad and my mom, right? You mean your dad? No, I don't mean I'm talking to everybody. Like, I'm just tired of the crap.
Yeah.
And it's so sad to me because I'm almost like, I don't know how to fix that. I don't even know how to navigate other than the kid go, man, that sucks for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan on reconciling that later? Well, yeah. And here's what I've told a kid. I've told multiple kids as teens, 17-year-olds. Someday when you're of age and you're independent of your parents, your relationship with your parents will be way different because your independence from them allows them to be genuinely about you.
Yeah.
They won't have to argue with each other anymore. What are they arguing for? You're on your own. You're doing your own thing.
You're an adult.
Yeah, so you can have whatever semblance of a relationship with either one of your parents that you want to have. There was one case I had, Jinohn, where the girl went and met with her dad in secret. So basically, she could drive, and she knew where dad lived, but in therapy, my dad's horrible. I don't want to ever see him again, and that's what mom believed. And then what she was doing is she went and actually, so dad sends me an email. She went and actually saw dad for a weekend, but mom thought she was with a friend. And her first thing she said to her dad is, "Please don't tell mom I'm here." And so dad sends an email because he's like, "I don't know what to do." Because I know if I tell mom she was here, she's going to get in trouble, right? And then I'm going to betray her trust. So I lose more time with my kid. And that's what I really want. But if I tell, which is the right thing, then I looked and I said, well, let me just say it this way. You're going to have to say something. And what you say to your daughter is, don't worry, let your mom be mad at me about it. Let it be me. Like, I'll take it for you. But doing things in secret with mom is going to betray the trust you have with mom. And I wouldn't want to be betrayed by your trust. Just like mom doesn't. However, that's our issue. We'll have to figure it out. That kid knew, though, that mom was never going to make sense.
Right.
So the kid was having to see their other parent in secret. And it sucks. And I wonder, do you think some of these adult kids do that? Do you think they actually have like secret relationships with their parents because their parents can't get them? Yeah, adults. So these kids have now become adults. And let's pretend it's the mom. The kid is talking to the mom, but the dad doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know. I don't know about adulthood. Maybe. I don't know.
I wonder. I don't usually kids grow up, I'll let them go be. I'm not going to, some kids have come back. But the ones I've talked to still don't have that relationship. But I have seen some go back to the others. So I don't know. Interesting.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to the topic.
Let's move on. Sorry. Let's move on. So what helps? Oh, well, before we do what helps, then we need to talk about what parents are misinterpreting here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so kind of what we said before, kids will be angry when they get home, or they'll be quiet, or they won't talk, or, I've had parents come to me and they're just like, oh my gosh, when they come home, they're just so withdrawn and they don't want to talk to me. They just go to their room, and I'm just so concerned. I'm so concerned that something happened over there and they just won't tell me, or whatever it is. And a lot of times, it can just be there's a lot that went on when I was at the other house, and I need to decompress. I need to get, like I said, they need to unpack all of that baggage. Right from the other house. I mean, what if, let's just say, and we're going to we'll talk about kind of the things not to do when you send your kid back to the other house. But what if, you had a parent be like, oh my God, I'm going to miss you so much when you're gone. And, I just can't, I just don't know what I'm going to do while you're gone. And, that they have to unpack that. Like, they have to come to the other house and then they have to unpack what they were just told,
That's right, because then they feel a level of guilt because I can't be there for my parent because they're going to miss me too much.
Yep.
Because kids typically think of the parent they're not with. Just know that. So if they're with dad, they're thinking of mom. If they're with mom, they're thinking of dad.
Yeah. Or, another thing, like, what if they've just had a whole weekend long of talking negatively about the other parent? They have to unpack all that. Like, all this bad stuff that was just being said about this parent that I absolutely love and I'm living with right now was being said. Do I talk to the other parent about this? Do I talk to them about it? Do I just kind of sift through it? And if you're like 7 or 8 years old, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Well, you're either acting out because you're just like, yeah, all this negative stuff that I'm hearing and now I'm with you and I don't like you. Or it's, I don't know what to do about this. So I'm just going to kind of sift through it in my head and I'm going to keep it to myself, Yeah,
and I'll tell you, the kids are notorious for overhearing, and if they think you're having a serious conversation with anybody or it's an important one, they can feel the energy of it, and so they try to find out what we're talking about. They'll go listen at the door, window. Hey, I was a kid. I remember doing that.
I used to hide in my grandma's closet and listen to all the gossip. That's what I did.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
I did. I hid in that closet because she was such a gossiper, and I knew.
I want it.
So I would hide in her closet, and she would be on the phone with her best friend. And I would hear all the tea.
Jinohn.
I did.
No wonder you're a therapist. Listen,
I know. I was like,
I was crying for this. That's awesome.
I know all the tea.
That's so funny. So tell me what helps.
Okay, so what helps is just before the transition, you can prepare kiddo. It's time to go, or rather than saying it's time to go, it'd be like, hey, in 30 minutes, we're going to go to dad's house. In 30 minutes, we get to go to mom's house. Words matter.
Yeah, we get to go.
In 30 minutes, you have to go to your dad's house.
Yeah, listen to that. Just have to get to.
Have to get to.
And we get to go to school in August. Yeah. Tell the kids we get to go to school in August. Oh, man, I don't want to go.
Like,
I know, but you get to go. That's cool. Good for you.
So I think that a lot of times, predictability will lower anxiety. And, while on the drive, and on the drive, there and back, whichever one that you as the parent are going to be doing, find the thing that's going to calm them. Find the thing that's going to help switch their mind to, this is where I'm going. If you're going, if you're picking up your kiddo to go to your house to start your weekend or whatever it is, it's just be like this. This can be like your tradition to help them change their mind and get them ready for what your household and what you guys are going to be doing, and vice versa.
And I think that's what I saw here too. Transition rituals, because it's predictable, right?
Yeah, it's predictable. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, every time we get picked up with Dad, we get a Slurpee.
Yeah.
Or we always, get a snack, or we stop at this certain gas station on the way home.
Yeah. It's like I do the same thing with my son. And I've done this for a few months. It's when we go to daycare every morning, I have certain songs that we play.
Cool.
These are these songs that we play to go to daycare, and he knows when he hears these songs, we're going to daycare. And now, granted, he's 1 year old, so I don't know if he knows, but
he knows something.
But the thing is that it's very predictable every single day. And as much as I may not like these songs, well, I love them. I used to love them. Now they're kind of annoying because it's been like every single month, every single day. But that's what I do, because it's like, so he knows.
It's for him.
This is where we're going to daycare. This is our daycare song.
Yeah, and you're creating some predictability for him, which gives him that comfort.
And it just kind of helps him switch his mind. Because I think, well, for my son, and it kind of goes in with what we're talking about, but transitions. My son, when he comes home from daycare, he needs to decompress. Like, he needs calm and all because daycare's a lot of stimulation.
Oh, tough.
And so the transition from home calm is like, okay, we're going to go to daycare, so you got to kind of get yourself ready for all the kids that are going to be screaming and whatever.
You're prepping him. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I do for him, because I know kind of his personality is, pretty calm, pretty chill, and all that stuff. And those kids at daycare are wild.
Yeah, they're not calm and chill. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so that's what I do for him, so that he's able to kind of get himself ready. That's my assumption is what I'm doing for him. He's one. I can't.
Well, he's not going to verbally tell you that.
Yeah.
But at some point, he'll be able to tell you he knows where he's going just because he hears the music. So, I mean, that's old Skinnerian behaviorism. I mean, that's, it's like the ringing of the bell. I know I'm about to eat. It was actually the thing.
And so that's kind of what I do for his transitions. And the thing is, just because, kids are transitioning all the time, so you can do that. Even if you're not divorcing or they're not going from house to house, you can still use these skills or these, ideas of transitioning your kids if you kind of see that they are having a hard time with transitions.
So let's kind of wrap this up, Jinohn. What are the things that parents need to be mindful of to not put in their backpack, the invisible backpack? Yeah.
So messages going back and forth from other parents, from parent to parent. Don't talk about child support, financial stuff, the stuff that we tell you guys constantly to not talk about, parental stuff, parent conflicts,
your
questions
current
on the other home,
guilt. Yeah.
We don't want them to feel interrogated as they're going back and forth from house to house. They want to just, do something fun that has nothing to do with the other house or the issue or the problem or anything like that.
So I'll tell parents what I tell their kids. I mean, it's not like the kids probably don't repeat it because I've told it to them, and I told them, you can tell your parents I said it. They have one job. I always tell the kids, you have one job.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at me kind of weird, like, I'll have a job, I have to do something. You got one job. Be a kid.
Yeah.
Your job's be a kid. You come in here and tell me I want this, and this is my opinion on this, I don't like that, and all those things. And I said, I hear all that. All those decisions are made because your parents agree or court orders. That's it. That's the way it's going to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to be a kid. And your job, parent, is to help make sure that child is getting to be a kid. I mean, I'll give you an example. My son got some really cool training recently and some baseball. And I won't explain that, but I'll just say that he got some really cool training. And when we talked afterwards about this experience that he got for training, their response to me was, I said, well, would you be interested in training him more? And they said, no, I'm not opposed to it, but how old is he? And so I said, he's 8. And so the person looked at me and said, right now his job is just to have fun. The game is about playing and having fun right now. And I sit there and I kind of smile after I heard that, because I'm saying the exact same thing to the kids that are coming here that are involved in a high conflict divorce. Their job is just to be kids and have fun. Your job as parents is to ensure that that's what's happening, at least with what you can control in your home. Yeah. I think parents try to control both homes. That's going to be a problem. If you take away someone's autonomy, they will fight back. They bark at you, right? If you put a dog in a corner, the dog can't get out, that's when the dog attacks. If the dog thinks they can escape, they may not attack you right away. They'll try to run. Make sense? Just know that. And kids don't corner them with all your stuff. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Any closing remarks you want to make for everyone? Man, that was I think
you did. I think you did a good closing remark, to be honest. But
you closed it right there, door shut. That's funny.
But I know. Look, your kids are carrying a lot of stuff.
Yes.
When they're going back and forth, there's 2 of everything. And I mean, some of it's good, right? They get 2 birthdays and 2 Christmases and all that stuff. But they also have 2 different relationships now. They have 2 different homes, 2 different expectations, 2 different relationships. Or I said that.
And they may have 4 parents. They may have 2 step parents.
They may have all of it.
It's a lot.
And they love everybody. They want to please everybody. So the thing is that, you don't want them to choose.
That's right. When a kid gets tired of pleasing you, they will start to act out. Okay. I'm serious. I think I've seen the kids that have had to perform as little kids. And then they get older, they're done performing. They're like, I'm done with this. I don't want to perform anymore. And so they may start acting out, pushing back.
Sure.
Yeah. Kids have told me that. I don't want to perform anymore. Because they thought if performing would help you guys get along and make this process easier, then I'll play the game. But then they did that, and y'all didn't get any better. Parents got worse or stayed the same or continued to file their filings with the court. Here's an interesting fact. Inverse relationship. The more you end up in court, the more filing you have, the less likely you co-parent. So the more court you go to, the less likely you co-parent. I learned that from a judge. The more I see them, the less likely they co-parent. That's the relationship. So if you want to keep filing to solve your problems, go for it. But guess what that's going to do ultimately?
Yeah.
It's going to lower your potential for co-parenting. I don't disagree with that. I think I've seen that before. Have you?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
The more they've litigated, the harder it is to help in facilitation, bro.
It is.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that, Jinohn. That was actually a fun one. I enjoyed talking about that. I think parents forget about the invisible backpack. They only see the one they're packing with their socks in. Oh, and bring me your shirt back from your another parent's house. Yeah. That's supposed to be, I purchased it. I need it back. I told the kid, and the kid's got to go back, get it off the hang. And that parent walks in and goes, what are you doing? Why are you taking that shirt?
It's so much work.
Those poor kids.
So much work. So much work for physical stuff, but the emotional stuff is, I think, because that's the invisible stuff that we don't see. Parents don't see. Like us as a therapist, we get to see it. We get to hear about it if the kids can articulate it. But parents, a lot of times, they don't know because they're just in the thick of it.
That's true.
They're in the thick of it and they don't get it.
And I never penalize a parent for not knowing. I penalize you for not knowing and doing harm anyway. Or knowing and still doing harm. Yeah. And still doing harm. That's worse. That's abuse.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That is.
So, okay.
Oof.
Told you, we got closing remarks. So that door started creaking back over.
Nah, it did.
Well, thanks everyone for being here. We appreciate it. We hope you find these helpful. We love to put this out there. We haven't heard from a lot of people recently. Don't worry, don't say show notes. But what I will say is, I hope that we'll hear from some more people. We know that we've been out there we're like in 3 different countries. We're across the U.S. But we haven't had anything coming in lately. So it must be summertime. But we'd love to hear from people, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to hear more about, what's really going to help you the most. We want to know that we're getting the information out there to you. All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Keep moving forward. Till next time.